What was the craziest wedding you ever attended? Back when I used to work at a hotel, I witnessed an absolutely batshit wedding. In preparation, we had to ensure we'd ordered enough blue WKD, and as this was the groom's drink of choice, first red flag. The whole wedding took place in the hotel. The function room also hosted the ceremony, so we started pretty early that day. Before the ceremony, the bride had taken 3 bottles of Prosecco up to her room whilst she was getting ready and was clearly tipsy before the wedding started, but seemed to act sober enough that whoever was conducting the ceremony was none the wiser. Ceremony seemed normal, but I was prepping the bar, so wouldn't have known either way. As it ends, all the guests flood out for drinks whilst we changed the function room and set out the tables for the sit-down meal. The guests were rough as a badger's arse, to put it politely. I already knew one of them as he'd been to the hotel before, acting like a total wanker when I told him the bar was closed and I wouldn't be serving him. However, he was being especially polite to me this time, as it was clear as date for the wedding was definitely not the same girl he was in with just a few weeks ago, who I suspect was a paid acquaintance. Before the meal even began, we were starting to worry if we'd have enough alcohol. These people drank like fish, but we managed to get them all seated and fed, and everyone is being friendly and well behaved. As the night goes on, the bride is slowly becoming so drunk she can barely stand and has changed from her wedding dress into a very scant pink negligee with a tutu skirt. She's also given up on using the bathroom, so she loudly announces she will be relying solely upon nature wees from this point onwards. Before midnight, we are nearly totally out of spirits. The guests are ordering shots every round. I tried to deny service, but my manager was having none of it, and as the hotel was struggling, they wanted to make as much money as possible, and have shotted us out of almost everything. Blue WKDs are long gone, but the groom has a lovely blue smile at this point. After the bride finally gives up trying to shot disgusting liquors that have likely been there since the hotel was built, they head to the dance floor. The party starts winding down and it's time for the last dance, but the bride decides she'd prefer to have this with a male wedding guest, which really f's off the groom. She then loudly announces she'll be throwing an after party in their suite and everyone is invited in the hot tub. Funnily enough, the groom isn't thrilled and kicks off. Another member of staff manages to calm everyone down and convinces the DJ to play the last dance song once more before he leaves, and the groom agrees. Everyone starts packing up and the bride comes back from her room in her third outfit of the night, a nice gray-stained tracksuit. She's adamant she wants another cigarette before bed. God knows how many packs she went through that day, especially sad considering the money for the wedding came from her parents' inheritance, who both died of cancer. She can't find a lighter and becomes irate, screaming at the groom for one. Groom claims he doesn't have one, but not taking no for an answer, she rifles through his pockets and finds one. Holding it aloft, she screams at him that he's a liar and slaps him clean across the face. The groom, obviously not having enjoyed this, returns the favor and punches her in the face. The best man spots this and leaps across a sofa and tackles the groom to the floor. They're now having a full-on fist fight whilst the bride sobs incoherently. I try and get out of the way as I'm being trampled by Mr. WKD and his scummy friend. My supervisor storms in saying he found coke in the bathroom and the police are on their way. The best man is off like a robber's dog and the groom stands there stunned and then follows his new wife into the function room. We then hear screaming and shouting from that room, and the bride has picked up a chair and launched it at her husband and was now holding a second one trying to attack him with it. At this point it's about 2 a.m. and I am royally done with the day. My mum is waiting for my outside, so I grab my bag and head off, giving my supervisor strict instructions to tell me exactly how this ends when I'm back for my next shift. I pass a riot van of police officers on the way out of the door, direct them to the drama and go home. Next shift I'm informed that an ambulance arrived shortly after the police. The groom was taken to the hospital after sustaining a head injury, but he did a runner from the paramedics when he got to the hospital. The bride stayed at the hotel and to console herself spent the night with the male wedding guest she danced with. They left together in the morning and a week later announced on Facebook she was in a new relationship with him.